Welcome to the What Matters Marketing Show, hosted by Kim Skilton. This is your place to be inspired, to learn, and to build the business of your dreams with actionable marketing tools, tips, and resources. Kim Skilton is an award-winning marketer who has worked with some of the world's biggest brands. With more than 20 years of industry experience, Kim knows firsthand what it takes to build a business from the ground up. If you love to learn and are ready to take action, you're in the right place. Click follow so you don't miss an episode. Now let's get into the show.
Hello, and welcome to the What Matters Marketing Podcast. Today I'm going to dive into Google's EEAT or EAT and also cover why it's important for your SEO. So if you're not already familiar with Google's EEAT, then you'll absolutely want to listen into today's show. Specifically, we're going to have a look at what does EEAT stand for? How does Google use EAT? And why is EEAT important for your SEO? And I'm going to end today's episode with what tips you can do or use to optimize your website content for EEAT. So it's very hands-on, actionable insights and tips for you today. So let's dive in. So what does EEAT stand for? It is essentially an acronym summarizing the ranking factors that Google uses to assess content quality and also expertise according to their search quality rater guidelines. So if we just take a step back for a minute and think about Google's goal, their intention, and the reason that search engines exist, Google defines this as search engines exist to help people find helpful, relevant, and reliable information. To do that, search engines must provide a diverse set of high-quality search results presented in the most helpful way. So these, or the use of the EEAT to help rank content is to then meet that goal, if you like, for Google as a search engine. It also goes on to say search engines largely understand the quality of content through what is commonly called signals, in inverted commas, and you can think of these as clues about the characteristics of a page that then align with what humans might interpret as high quality or reliable content. So for example, the number of quality pages that link to a particular page is a signal that that page may be a trusted source of information on a topic. So the EEAT stands for, well, it's an acronym, as I've already said, but what it actually stands for is experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So those four again: experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So if we look at those independently, let's dive into what that actually means from Google's perspective in relation to search engines. So expertise refers to extensive knowledge about a topic that is conveyed through content. This can be demonstrated by things such as in-depth research, citing credible sources, using precise industry language and advanced terminology, quoting statistics and data to support claims, and displaying credentials that are related to the field. So for example, you might be a plumber. So if you're a plumber, you would want to ensure that you are referencing the Plumbers Association, your trade skills that you've completed to qualify as a professional plumber. If you have blog content on your website, which I would highly suggest that you do, then you would potentially want to have some blog articles that quote other leading or in industry associations within that blog, and not only quote them, cite them, but also link off to them with a link out to their website. So all those kind of things will help create that expertise for you. So really what you want to be thinking about is optimizing for expertise, because that will establish you as a trusted subject matter expert. So that's expertise. Now, if we then look at experience involves your first-hand knowledge and observations gained through real-world participation in an area. So this might be shown by providing personal anecdotes and case studies, sharing insights from having actually done something in that area, explaining step by step how to do an activity, and you might include behind the scenes details beyond common knowledge. So if we continue, say, with the plumber example, you could be showcasing and using many case studies where you might have unblocked a drained pipe, completed a kitchen or bathroom renovation that shows your capability of how to put in a whole new plumbing requirements for a kitchen facility or a bathroom. If we take that to another industry, maybe that experience is in the form, you might be a nail technician or a beauty therapist. So there's lots of ways that you can showcase almost a sort of, a before and after scenario. That shows that you do have the actual experience. You're not just talking to it. Another example would be my business. So I have a marketing consultancy business where we also offer services where we would provide digital marketing. That might be in the form of Google ads, Facebook ads, or Meta ads. We might do email marketing. So we can provide case studies to sit on our website to showcase that we actually do have the experience in those areas. And we're not just talking to expertise, we actually have the experience as well. So by conveying that experience, it makes your advice more relatable and credible. So we've covered the two E's in EAT. The next one is A for authority. So authoritativeness evaluates how influential and trustworthy your content and brand are perceived to be. So in this case, the kind of signals that Google would be looking for would be things like high quality backlinks from other authoritative sites, a strong brand reputation and prominence, references or mentions by industry experts of your business, and also the longevity and history of your valued content. So the more authoritative that your content is, the more weight Google will assign to that content. So for me, I know with my website, I've got a really high ranking piece of content, or there's really two or three standouts for me. One is around business versus marketing strategy. And I guess if I talk to the second most highest performing bit of content for me is around website technical requirements. So there are two pieces of content that Google ranks my site very highly on and drives a significant amount of traffic for me. So that tells me that the other parts of my website are supporting me as an authority in those particular areas. So that's what you want to think about when you're looking at the authority piece. Now, when it comes to trustworthiness, which is our last letter in the four-letter acronym EEAT, so trustworthiness, it's referring to how transparent, ethical, and honest that Google perceives your content to be. And there are some things that you can look at to ensure that you're going to rank well in this space. So things like having a secure site and SSL. Now, this wasn't such a big deal, except for, gosh, it really came to the fore probably 4 to 6 years ago, where we now really need to have that HTTPS at the beginning of our website URL. If you don't have that, you need to go and get that sorted out pronto. You want a professionally designed website, and also what's referred to as a consistent NAP information. So NAP is an acronym, another one, for name, address, and phone number. So the NAP for your business needs to be correct, obviously, and consistent. And when optimizing for your website, you want to ensure that your online presence for local search has that information correct and consistent. It's one of those things that Google's going to go, yep, okay, the name, address, and phone number is consistent and it's correct, so we know that they can be considered trustworthy. Things such as positive user reviews and also your responsiveness to those contributes to your trustworthiness. This is probably stating the obvious, but avoid misleading claims or sensationalism. And you want to be regularly updating your website pages with, whether that's where blog content is really valuable for that, because it gives you lots of reasons to update your website with this new content. But as you can probably tell by listening to what this EEAT stands for, it's also going to help you hit these particular requirements as well. And you want to, if you are using other sources as references or contributing to your content, you want to make sure that you do disclose owners, authors, and sources, because that, again, is going to attribute to your trustworthiness as a content provider. So optimizing for trust reassures Google that your site offers a safe and credible space. So if they're going to serve up your website or a particular page on your website as part of their Google search results, they want to be confident that when they send someone to your website that you are trustworthy. So the next question I wanted to pose and answer for you is, how does then Google use EEAT? Definitely left you some clues on what we've already covered so far, but let's just take a step back. It first introduced EAT, if you like, in its search quality rating guidelines back in 2016, and it really provides guidance for the human raters who evaluate these 4 pieces of criteria. And I guess although Google's algorithm doesn't necessarily directly measure EEAT, it does optimize for these and for the principles. So what it does then is it allows the algorithms to assess your EAT based on your topical relevance and page usefulness by identifying reliable factual information sources and the overall perception of your site. And it'll also look at your quality around your editorial and making sure that it's of a good standard. So by making EEAT a priority, you can definitely improve how Google's going to perceive your website and therefore how it's going to rank your website and the pages within your website. Which then leads on to, well, why and how is EEAT important for your SEO? And again, already left a few clues on what we've covered so far, but it will absolutely help you with SEO success because it's essentially fundamental in your SEO. It's going to satisfy Google's quality standards. Google wants to have great search results for their customer user experience. It wants to display expert advice from authoritative, trustworthy sites. It also wants to help rank your site against competitors. It needs reasons to put your site against others. So by having that expert content from respected sites, it just means that yours is going to perform better than say lower quality competing sites that might be targeting the same keywords. And Also, it's going to boost Google's evaluation of your site. So by using the EEAT principles, Google's overall perception of your domain value and usefulness is going to increase. You can see how it all feeds one another, pardon the pun, when we're talking about EEAT, but you can see by looking at each of those four how it does all stack up to make your site stronger in the eyes of Google when looking for, that quality content. And it also ensures that you're using sustainable, what's called white hat SEO practices. So generally speaking, white hat SEO refers to any practice that improves your search rankings on a search engine results page or a SERP page while maintaining the integrity of your website and staying within the search engine's terms of services. So look, to give you some examples, it would be things like offering quality content and services, which I think has become very clear in what we're going through today. Having a fast site that loads quickly and also is mobile friendly, and ensuring that you do use descriptive keyword-rich meta tags. So that's, the title of your page and the meta description that you have for every single page that you want to show in the search results, and making your site easy to navigate. If you did not listen to last week's episode that covered off the website technical requirements checklist, you need to go back and listen to that because we do cover a lot of that off in that particular episode. And this just further drives home the importance of those things. So that's that's white hat SEO practices. And just as a comparison, there is what they call black hat SEO practices as well. And they would be things like purchasing backlinks, using deceptive cloaking techniques, essentially any tactics that are considered deceitful or harmful for consumers would qualify as black hat. So things like purchasing backlinks, that was actually an SEO tactic a few years ago, but it is now absolutely 100% deemed a black hat tactic, and you would not want to use that to help rank your site better. Another benefit, I guess, from having an EEAT approach to your content is that it will increase your keyword rankings. It does have an indirect but significant influence on your ability to rank for relevant keywords. So you want to make sure that you are looking at how do I apply these four signals, if you like, to then help my website rank better using the keywords that I have determined for my website and specific web pages. And again, by properly optimizing for EEAT demonstrates true expertise and authority to Google. So diving a bit more into, well, how do I optimize for EEAT? Here's 3 tips that you can use. 1, again, I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but just to make it clear, number 1, build expertise through high quality content. Number 2, increase authoritativeness with these signals. And 3, strengthen trust factors. So let me dive into each of those a little bit more. Building expertise through high quality content. So what you want to do there is make sure that you thoroughly research topics and use credible sources. Cite references to verified claims and data points. So you can state your opinion, but if you can back it up with evidence from a really credible source and cite that, then that is going to help build that credibility for you. And make sure that you do use precise terminology suited for an industry. So, if you're working, if you're especially in high technical industries, that would add a lot of credibility when your language on your website is referencing those specific pieces of terminology. And you want to make sure that you obtain credentials related to your field. So if we go back to the plumber that I was talking about earlier in this podcast, you would want to make sure that you've got your trade certification mentioned and prominent, and that you are part of your industry association. And obviously that would apply to many, many industries out there, no matter what you're operating in. You might even want to look at creating guides, how-tos, comparisons. That all helps build that expertise through high-quality content. The second one I mentioned was increase your authoritativeness with signals. So that could be things like building backlinks, so genuine backlinks, so using white hat SEO, not black hat. So genuine backlinks from authoritative industry sites. So another example there would be the plumber. It could be a hairdresser, an accountant, a lawyer, a marketing consultant. If you can be part of a membership or an association website where you are then listed on that website as a member and you get a link back to your website, that would be considered a genuine backlink from an authoritative industry site. You might also be able to gain references or mentions by influential figures. So within your industry, your niche, there would be people, websites, where if you were referenced on their website with a link back to yours, then that's going to add that authoritativeness to you as well. You might be able to promote content on social media to drive engagement, but it's about also making sure you use the right social media channels. You could get interviewed as an expert in your field, so that could be through a publication, through a podcast, a online publication or a print local magazine, anything around a professional interview is going to help position you as an authoritative in your in your area of expertise. And you could also publish content, if you like, on a reputable third-party site. So you might be able to contribute to another site. And obviously any PR is great. So if you can obtain some positive press coverage, and also reviews are wonderful as another way to increase authoritativeness. And then the third one is strengthening trust factors. I did touch on a couple of these earlier, but you do want to have that SSL on your website using the HTTPS encryption, and obviously in general have the best security practices. You want to be transparent by listing your available contact information. I know myself, if I go to a site and it's not easy to find contact information, it's really frustrating from a user experience point of view. Not only is it frustrating, it may indicate to a user or a visitor that you're not trustworthy because you're not prepared to put your contact details in an area that it's easy to find. As I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you keep that consistent name, address, phone number information. And if you are across on multiple directories, make sure you keep that up to date. You want to address any and respond quickly to any negative reviews. And you want to make sure that your information is regularly updated and accurate across everything. So from directories, from your Google business page to your website, make sure, association sites, make sure that it's always regularly updated and accurate. Now, by applying these tips and making EEAT optimization standard for all of the content that you're producing for your website, it is absolutely going to maximize your search rankings. So the impact, something else I just wanted to quickly cover is, what do we think about, or how do we manage the impact of AI on EEAT? A lot of us are now using ChatGPT as a reference, a bit of a help, an assistant, if you like, and definitely very, very useful with coming up with content ideas and potentially writing content on behalf of you as well. So is AI-created content going to adequately satisfy Google's EEAT on its own? Well, look, it's probably a little bit early to tell, but what I've found in my research for this podcast is that Google will and still does some sort of expect some sort of human review, I guess, before it gets published onto your website. Some of the points that have been raised in the research I found is that AI lacks that real world expertise and authority signals. That's something that only the human can add. So think about that. You might want to use AI to create a baseline, but you want to then put that human element and that real world experience to it. It cannot necessarily convey EEAT through authentic experience. It doesn't know how to pull that authentic element into it. And it might not necessarily be unbiased. So you just need to think about that too. Have a look at it. Does it need to be correct? Be corrected, I guess. And think about, if you were to have this conversation yourself, is this how you would say it? And then make any changes to that AI generated content to ensure that human element is applied. So look, while AI is super exciting and it can help us to speed up content creation, the form of ideas, and even write a blog for you, you need to ensure that you're reviewing that content and adding your human expertise and authority before finalizing that and publishing it onto your website. So, to sum up what we've covered today, I really wanted to dive into what EEAT is and why you as a business owner should want to know about it, and what you can do to ensure that the content that you're producing for your website is going to adhere to that, and in turn, therefore, make your website hopefully more relevant and rank better when it comes to those Google search results. So just to, recap, if you like, EEAT evaluates the quality of pages according to Google's guidelines. By optimizing EEAT on your site, it's going to improve Google's assessment of your website. And then by creating high quality content, it's going to foster better engagement and trust as well, which is in turn going to help you rank better. And then if you are using AI generated content, that you do apply that human element to it and add your level of experience and expertise to that content, which AI is unable to do, so that you do satisfy the EEAT standards. And by prioritizing these EEAT results, you are going to rank higher in your keywords. So if you can focus on the EEAT principles and then combine them with SEO best practice, then you're going to get the absolute best results for your business when it comes to ranking in Google.
Thanks for listening to the What Matters Marketing Show. You can support the podcast by hitting follow or leaving a review. For more great marketing information to help build your business and a life that you love, head to whatmattersmarketing.com.